How's it going there? Just wanted to make this video here real quick. Best I possibly can on about this incident that happened. It took place almost about 15 years ago. It was a very kind of isolated incident. It just kind of played into law enforcement's hand again, probably just like anywhere else would happen, the same, no different than any other jurisdiction or place. It just happened to what I did myself in the event had gave the authorities the ability to put me in the situation. So I admit that part. Definitely, I put myself in a position where I could allow the authorities of Roseburg, Oregon, to convict me of something worser than I had actually should have been convicted of, or been taken to court over. Instead of what the courts did was even dirtier. They wanted me to pay one of their dirty, corrupt attorneys to work a deal. So the DA there came after me, Debra Debra Stoll, I think it is Stoll, 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 Debra Stoll. Anyways, her intention was to get me to pay her friend, David Terry, who's like a predominant attorney in the Roseburg area. So because I didn't feel like paying him, she felt like coming after me for a felony conviction because we wouldn't pay her friend $2,200 to get this to a misdemeanor. So, but what I was saying was, well, it's a misdemeanor. You should ought to play it to a misdemeanor and then try and work out a deal and not actually make a misdemeanor stick with me. And I thought she should have talked directly to me for a deal, but she wouldn't. So they forced me to get a public, uh, whatever, type of attorney acts like they're going to help you out or do you a favor. Um, when actually they help the court in their jury selection against you and your court proceedings against you. The only thing that work well then is to zip up and finalize your conviction. That's the only thing that a public uh, pretend attorney, or however you'd say that, I don't even know how to say it the right way, is able to help you. Unless it's another predominant person that is worked into uh, being your um, appointed attorney by the court system. And you just happen to be lucky to get on rotation, uh, you know, a more than decent attorney is the only way you're going to beat a conviction for anything. If you have to get a public uh, attorney or whatever. So just to make things clear here, at the time, my parent is a retired military person. So at the time, I was heavily involved with the VFW and had been doing volunteer work at this particular time that this went down, um, at the VFW and for the VA also. So not to make any um, mistakes about how the story goes. On my side of the story, part of how they'll get a conviction, a felony conviction, and not tell the 12 jurors the whole entire story. The person that that I got a conviction to help convict me for um, was a criminally minded person, somebody who didn't just go off the handle every now and then and let the town make an example of him. He was a conniving, crafty person who thought like a criminal and thinks like a criminal, as far as I'm concerned, and works that way the best in his hand to not be caught. I have I've always been a person that tries to be a stand-up person with nothing to hide. I try to be the best that I can, to be as transparent as I possibly can, so that there's no mistake about my character or about what's said, so I can defend myself. So if I get into a debate, it's not because I'm smart or I'm a smart ass why I win. It's because I'm a stand-up person and I'm honest, and I'm telling you the truth. So it's chicken poop what they did. The guy followed me for almost 2 years. He got me good. He got me so good in a fight in front of about 20 people at a bar at the Sunset Tavern in Winchester. I had a circle of people that circled around me, and I was asking him to help to stop the fight because the guy thought I was gonna die. But I don't know if he was just trying to make me pass out or what, but he said that I narked him off, so he um, pursued and stalked me after the police in Roseburg put me on a on a charter affidavit or whatever the hell they call that for the guy's court. Didn't ask me to come and witness against him at court or anything like that. What they did was they brought me a videotape of the guy going in and selling some stolen merchandise that I honestly had no idea that he'd stole it. It had just became apparent to me that that was who had done it when I seen the video. That these cops came over to my house, playing, good cop, bad cop, and they still kind of, I think it worked out to be kind of evil and in their evil favor anyways, even though when they finally left my house, they knew that I had nothing to do with them stealing the stuff, and that I was not involved with that. They still kind of were evil about it, in my opinion. And I was doing volunteer work at the time. So just to let you, Roseburg, people know when I got convicted of that felony, the guy who you convicted me of the felony, almost kind of like literally killed me one time. So that's attempted murder, in my book, in my opinion. I don't even know if there's a grounds for, um, you know, what was I gonna say? Like where you can't get a conviction of that later on in time for that. I don't know if somebody tries to attempt murder you, to attempt to kill you, and that's attempted murder. Really, they committed attempted murder. If what do you call that? There's the name for that. Um, murder and stuff like that. It doesn't go. There's no statute of limitations. That's it. So I don't know that if any of the stuff the guy did, if there's not actually would still be a statute of limitation for what the guy did to me in particular. So guy was abusive person, and he acted as a bully. That's the reason why him and I clashed from like the beginning, sort of, or whenever we started clashing, is because um, he mistreated his wife. And I always thought that if you had a wife, you should do your best that you can to treat her the best that you can. And treat her like a lady. Don't treat her like a second class citizen. Don't treat her less than a human being. And don't be abusive. But that in particular sort of set me off in my mind. So I was rude to the guy every time I seen him. I would I was pretty much mean to the guy. I was mean to him because I seen him be mean to his wife. And then when he went and sold some merchandise to a pawn store um, up by Abby's Pizza up north East Stevens, there's a I'm pretty sure it should still be there. It's a pawn store. Pawn stores, I don't see them going out necessarily when everybody else does, as long as they do good business and are smart. Their business should be all right. But the creep, took the TV in there, um, had his girlfriend carry it with minors that he had helped him go to this house and steal it. I don't want to tell the whole details of the whole story and how that happened, but that's how he ended up telling other characters other than myself around town that I was associated with or knew that I was a narc and somebody who um, tells on people, like I told on him or something like that. And that isn't even what happened. I didn't even know what the guy's name was at the time. Or the other people. I knew some of their names, but I didn't know their names well enough to even get into divulging their names, um, let alone, um, you know, uh, you know, basically having it like scripted or something. Like you were, like the cops come over, they put this videotape that the pawn store has up on their video showing the creep come in and do that, and then I'm sitting there all scripted like yeah, that's Tommy Branks, that's Jimmy Frank, that's Tony Calemzo, or like what because I'm just using oddball names that don't exist as an example. It wasn't scripted to me. I got like out of the situation. I wasn't even hanging out with those people. I had a couple of different friends, and they all um, didn't go around trying to rip nobody off or steal from the community. Um, again, I'm not saying that I haven't always been innocent and that I didn't also put myself in a position where they could do that to me in the first place. I'm just saying that it sounds really fishy to me, the whole story. And I'll tell the same story every time. This was about 15 years ago, and basically what happened was I was driving around with a friend of mine, Shawn Loury. And Shawn Loury is kind of like one of these guys who, especially when they were all much younger, these younger guys we hung out with, me and my friends, um, they were just a little bit younger than us, but we still hung out with them. Um, they were rambunctious. We were all kind of rambunctious, and if you could mix us together more, we'd become even more rambunctious. So I was basically with one of the most rambunctious of all the younger people um, from our time, kind of like our generation had spawned a couple of the younger generation than us. the time they were like our generation basically too. They were just younger than us. But where I was hanging out with the most rambunctious one almost out of all of them. Like this is another guy, Travis Wilder. He's rambunctious too. So a lot of these guys at times they like want to act like they're gonna pull knives on me or like they're gonna stab me or something, and they know that I'll fight them. They all know that I'll fight them, any of them. And all I can say is they've only been proven wrong every time that they come after me and try to say that I uh, knocked one of their little pussy asses off or something like that. They're little creeps. You're full of shit. I would not fuck up my reputation on the streets for some peasant uh, little fucking twerps, fucking as it is, you know. So all I can say, it's been long enough. I'm looking forward to petitioning to have my felony conviction erased or whatever, expunged. My parent, my father said he would help me do that. So I'm gonna look forward to doing that and be like this. We're finally done with Roseburg, except for talking about some shit that went on there and writing a book. I'm trying to write a book. It's going kind of slow right now, but it's my own details of the place, and it's pretty dang interesting. The more that I can remember a lot of the crazy stuff that happened there, you'd have to be there on a lot of the stuff that went on when I was there. You'd have to be there and see it in order to. I believe I can make people visualize the thing like as if they were there enough in a book, in a transcript. So that's what I'm hoping for. And um, karma to serve those who did me wrong. And actually, as much as I hate to say it, if I'm wrong, and as much I'd like to be right and just perfect and just the most honest. Like I'm the most overcorrect person in the world. I don't want to let my own self get off with anything either. So let curse or karma or whatever keep plaguing me if I'm wrong also. But if I'm right, um, I'm looking for a victory ahead. Shortcoming. And I think that pretty much details the whole thing. All I can say is how it happened was before I go, I wanted to go. I'm glad I just stopped myself first because I want to finish the story. So what happened was we were driving my car and pull over real fast. I said, I've been swearing, so I might as well say what I said. I said, there's that motherfucker right there. This guy, he had been pursuing me for almost 2 years. It would have been 2 years if I had let the guy get away with it more, if I would have let him keep going. And I know that for a fact because I seen him about maybe a week before at another local pawn store, at this pawn store by the Dairy Queen on Stephen, down closer to South Roseburg. Um, Anyways, I seen the guy, Justin Saunders, the guy who I got felony conviction for beating up. I seen him in the pawn store when I went in there. And business as usual, except I look up over at the guy and he's all, he gave me this evil smirk like, like it said, it's what I read in his face was, "Ha, it ain't over." And I'm glad that I've been toying with you. I'm glad that I've got away with um, basically stalking you, uh, basically trying to like torture me in front of my parents. Even both my parents were both with me at different times. I was in school at the time too. I was a student senator at Umpqua Community College. I was going there and the Woolley Center off of Harvard also. And I was a volunteer for the VA and the VFW at the same time that this bully was coming after me and pursued me and stalked me with the help of Chris Branham. Chris Branham was the accomplice of this stalking me at my college at Umpqua Community College. So some of that basically royally depressed me and sent me off really. I didn't know what to do. I knew I had to fucking think about what kind of options I could weigh in, what I needed to do. So I figured because I was raised in the Marines, in the military, that the only option really that I had that would give me the result that I needed was if I took care of the bully. That's the only way I felt I was getting out of it. I didn't think the police were going to help me. They were going to do anything to ensure my protection, my welfare. I was on my own, basically. Um, so what happened was I was driving down Harvard. I seen the guy. He was just leaving his probation officer's house, uh, office, or whatever. I'm sorry, at the courthouse. And he's driving down Harvard, and I pulled my car over, and I told Shawn to turn the car around. So I went up, and the guy said, "Let's go behind the building." They were tearing Douglas Community Hospital up at the time. And he said, "Let's go behind the building over here." So the building was still there. It looked like it was just closed down. So that's why there would have been a opportunity or chance to go behind the building right there at Douglas. But instead, I said, "No, let's get this over with quick." Because I knew once the guy turned the car around, I'd be able to, I could punch this guy a couple times, brawl it out with him, and then jump in the car and I'd flee. So he got me into this headlock again, into the headlock he got me in before. So I knew he was going to use that strategy. So I got out of it, hit him in the nuts, like boom, uppercut. And it was so fast that he didn't even have time to put a choke really on my neck like he did before. And I thought he was gonna kill me before. But this other time, the second time when I got the charge, I was prepared. So I got out of the thing, and then I hit him. And when I hit him, he flew back like this, with his feet and his arms up in the air like that, and flew back. I destroyed him. And there was blood everywhere again, but there was no definitive bruising or marking for the policeman to take from the guy for being victimized. So the courts basically helped me get a felony conviction over a guy and called him my victim and technically made me a monster over a vicious um, retard, if you ask me, criminal who was victimizing me all along. So just so that people understand, um, the ver ver uh, variety of things that went into the scenario and the situation, and they believe they're just supposed to convict you, and it's personal with them, and they want to convict somebody for standing up against a bully, against their own bully. I had been bullied um, a lot, so I know what it's like already up to that point, to the point where I had heard enough to where it was enough to make my head swell with frustration and anger as it was already. As it was, I was already, like I said, just at times ready to pop with frustration and anger. It's just uh human, I guess you're supposed to try to find a way to forgive people for being wrong, but I really don't want to let them off of the hook. um Not necessarily the town or anything like that, but like I said, if they did something wrong and they're guilty, I'm one that definitely believes in karma, and it's been long enough. It didn't take very long for the other people that did me wrong there, the guy from the work crew or whatever, to get caught up in his own sins, knowing they're all uh, human also. If you come at people like that, and you're a cop, you better darn well make sure there's no blemishes on your record. You better make sure I don't have nothing to dig up on you, because it sounds like you're just as reckless as people that you throw in jail, pretty much. This much time, this much later, um, I hope this video serves to not let them get away with indicting more people, or however you'd say that, convictions of people also, So, um, I wish, really, I wish I could be internal affairs. If the internal affairs people in this country ever seen this video, the authorities, use this as my resume for you to understand that I would take that job so personally seriously. Talk about taking it personal. Not as far as like personal between, like I have something personal against you, like you wouldn't should not do if you're doing uh work like that. You're supposed to be honest, and you're supposed to pretty much keep politics out of it. I would keep politics out of it except for the liberal conservative that I think that I am, that serves a notable cause, um, a noble cause, basically not a dishonest position. You don't try to think of dishonest ways to get ahead. You try to um, point out things for the best, and you're not going to be cunning and dirty. But definitely, I would take a job like that, um, because of my own, also my own personal, um, uh, what do you say, things that I've experienced, my own personal experiences. I believe I would take something like that extremely serious. Like, I was saying, don't do nothing wrong, or don't let them catch you with your britches down. If you're going after people, if you're a cop and you're going after other people, that's all I'm saying to you is you really need to have no blemishes on your record, or any thing going on that you're doing. You conduct yourself in a dishonest way. if you're going after people or you're being a cop. That's my opinion. That's what I think. Would that help serve the community out? So, you're a public servant, and that's what they're trying to get at with Obama. Trying to say, well, you don't act like a public servant, you act like your own servant. You know what I mean? So, the police act conservative. They are doing things in the direction of the protection of our constitutional rights, yes, but it's more so for their own sake and their own safety, their own rights to be protected and not violated. And just again, like I said, if you're handing out convictions, don't be dirty about it. Don't take it personal, because it really sounds like that felony conviction there on me it was personal. She had a personal um, problem and then agenda against me in particular instead of the case at hand. So I don't even know if she really even knew all of the aspects of the case. She just was looking at how to get a conviction in there again without really solving any problems, making things worse. Because what do you want? You want somebody who's a volunteer who is taught to do community stuff as it is, doesn't need to be put on community service to do it, for a punishment or whatever. It does that already. So basically, you're going to take somebody like that, and instead of helping them out positively, you make them feel like um, they really want nothing to do with you. Like I don't want nothing to do with you, the cops. I don't want anything to do with the government. I don't want anything to do with um, anybody. It doesn't matter. It's not personal now, in my opinion. Why I feel like that, I just feel like if there was a way I could have, 'cause you need to have food to live. So I'd want to have a way that I could grow some food for myself or whatever, take care of myself, but be isolated and not have to talk to people. Sort of like Gilligan's Island, where I could take my components or whatever and go isolate myself away from everybody, be take care of my own self, be self-sufficient, and just not have to worry about money or anything like that. Can like the professor in Gilligan's Island, that's why I said that, 'cause he would know how to make a generator and do all that stuff to live out there. They had to do it on that show, but I'm just saying, like, that's how I feel about people in general. Is that if I had all that stuff, I would definitely have a timetable when I'm gonna be gone out of society. Have nothing to do with nobody, you know. And I'm not sure. It sounds like that Ruby Ridge thing had something to do with something like that. The guy isolated himself and the government went after him like he was like had some kind of plot against him or something. He just wanted to be left alone. Is that right? That's what I heard. So if we ain't doing what I said, I would like to do kind of. It's a little scary because, um, like I said, it sounds like the authorities up to now have pushed it like with everything else, um, overboard with laws and government power, and it's corrupt. They'll do whatever it takes to get their point across, and there's no winning. You can't beat them. They're they're already gonna win you unless you had Johnny Cochran or something like that type of lawyer come in and help you, and you paid $1 million. You're not gonna, you know, these DAs and stuff see that coming, and they're like, ooh, if you had money like that and you just pop it out like that. But I don't see where I'd be uh, in a kind of off-kiltered situation like that. Anyways, if you had money like that, you'd probably be up in your mansion or something like that. But anyways, that's just how that happened. So I hit the guy. He went flying. I had a witness that knew me since I was 12 when my pops retired. We moved there. We had a shop on Garden Valley, North Garden Valley, and the guy came to court, seen it was me. So as soon as he seen me, he knew that I had to have had a good reason to have done what I did, because he knew me and my father knew that I wouldn't just beat somebody up just to be a bully like that. I had to have had a good reason, so he didn't even give them testimony that they wanted either in court, and they still convicted me anyways. So, as far as I know, it's public knowledge. People can read that. They want to sweep stuff like that underneath your rug and stuff. But that's what I get for being from that place, because they look at your file, I guess, and they say, "Oh, he's from here, so we can manipulate and toy this with this guy," you know. And so that's another story, a different story. Now I'm thinking about how they fried me, how the government fried me when I was 3 months old. But that's another story. So, anyways, whenever he left, he got the police called. The guy who knew me didn't recognize me at the time until I went to court on it, and he seen me there, and he was gonna have to go testify. Then he realized it was me, and then he told them in court, "Oh, I don't know. I don't know what I seen," because then he knew that he was basically testifying against his friend. And the guy who I hit um, is a bully, and he is a stalker. He came after me for almost 2 years. Pursued me at my college when I was going to college and stuff. So um, when I hit him, he went. He had my friend take him home. He couldn't recognize me. Was gonna testify against me. Didn't. Um, then the cops, like I said, didn't have any evidence. Really, they couldn't take any pictures of the guy. He didn't have any visible markings or bruising. So um, that's basically what I remember. I don't remember anything else. We took off in the car. We went to the mall. Um, got out of there. So I had to clean up. So I had the guy's blood on me. So I did assault the guy. Like I said, it was a misdemeanor, and they should have went from there and gave me. They should have. The DA should have made a deal with me. It was only a misdemeanor. It was not a felony. But they still got a felony conviction. You should look at the court. Somebody should look at that and see what what a liar, what a liar she was. That DA is. Thanks. Thanks a lot. Appreciate it. Thank you.